All right, let's get into it. So, what's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, really quick, the shirt that I got on. Now, I brought this up this past Friday while I was watching SmackDown. I saw a post from WWE saying that this shirt right here was brand new. And WWE thinks they slick. And I said this on the video too. This is not a new shirt. If you can see right here, NXT. This shirt originally came out when Finn Balor was a part of NXT around the time during his first run as NXT champion. That's when this shirt originally came out. But WWE thinks they slick and replace the NXT tag with WWE tags and call it new. I don't know if it's someone in merchandise who's never seen this shirt before and they saw it and thought it was a brand new shirt, or someone in merchandise thinking it's been years since we've had this shirt on WWE Shop. Let's put it back on Shop, put WWE tags on it, call it brand new. Nobody will know the difference. At least I do. And I'm letting all you know who might not know that this shirt isn't new. It's from a time when Finn Balor was NXT champion around his first run as the NXT champion. So if you didn't know, now you know. And I'm not saying it to say, oh, don't get this shirt, because they're lying. Just because WWE is lying about the fact that this is a new shirt, it's not. Shouldn't stop you from buying this shirt. It's a nice shirt. I like this shirt. And just want to tell you all of that as I'm wearing this shirt for this week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors. So with that, every rumor, like I say every week, every rumor that I'm about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven fact or true by the promotion, company, or the person the rumor is about, they remain what they are, rumors. So with that, let's get into a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Mike Santana's contract with TNA runs through sometime in July, says PW Insider. WWE has shown interest previously. Now, WrestleVotes mentioned that WWE is interested in signing Mike Santana after his TNA contract expires this summer. WWE apparently wants him on the main roster before the end of 2026. So, as we look into July and August and September of 2026, this year, I will say this, that I think Mike Santana will more than likely, and I could be wrong about this because we are speculating. We do speculate on this show a lot. But I would guess, my best guess says that Mike Santana will stay with TNA. He will re-sign his contract and keep doing what he's been doing with TNA. I will be shocked though when we get into September and October and November and all of a sudden Mike Santana is on Raw or SmackDown because he's signed with WWE. I will be shocked if that happens, and I will begin to fantasy book of all the matches that he could have in WWE and the championships he could go after. That would be incredible if that happens. I will be shocked if that happens, but I think Mike Santana is going to stay with TNA for the foreseeable future. He will re-sign and stay, but we will see. Again, I will be shocked if he does end up staying with WWE. While claiming he has no inside information on as much, JBL told Busted Open that he believes AAA is going to get a pretty good TV deal coming up. And let me add to this. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer chimed in on the discussion about AAA's new TV deal. He says the whole reason WWE acquired AAA was to get TV rights and sponsorships in the United States because there's more money to be made on it in the United States compared to in Mexico. Meltzer also speculate the reason night one of Triple Mania is being held in an 800 to 1,200 seat venue in Las Vegas is so TKO can showcase the product off to sponsors and television and media execs who might not want to travel to Mexico. First, I will say I was only kind of jokingly guessing that that the first night of AAA would be in Las Vegas. I didn't actually think it was going to be. So it was to my surprise that I was actually right about that, because I jokingly said that a couple of weeks ago here on Wrestling with Rumors when they were talking about AAA being 2 nights for the first time. So I was shocked about that. Second thing, this is a business. So I would agree with Dave Meltzer on that, about what he's saying about one of many reasons why WWE acquired AAA. I don't think it's just because of the money. I think I think when you look at Triple H, and you look at those like Triple H who were retired wrestlers and who are now sitting in the seats and being in the rooms where things happen. There's a lot that those people saw in AAA to get WWE to acquire, to buy AAA. So I know there's a lot there. As far as the TV deal goes, I like AAA being on YouTube. It's internet. It's easy to find. It's easier for people who might not have cable or any kind of way of any kind of television, and that everything they watch is just on the tablet or on their phone. YouTube is easier access. So as far as the TV deal goes, wherever it is, I'm sure it'll be good whether they go back to Fox, because they are working with Fox for AAA for Mexico. But that or USA Network, CW, there are acquiring places that I could see a TV deal for it, but I do like it on YouTube. So yeah, I do like it on YouTube. But we will see. F4W Online's Brian Alvarez heard that AEW World Champion MJF's knee injury is legit, but they're hoping it's not serious. To add to that, as far as AEW World Champion MJF's knee injury is concerned, the Wrestling Observer newsletter says the knee is swollen and in pain, but whatever is planned for Forbidden Door is not in jeopardy. MJF is 1,000,000% doing what was originally planned for the AEW World title at that pay-per-view event on June 28th in San Jose. Meanwhile, and this one's coming from Cage Side Seat, WWE Women's Champion Rhea Ripley appeared on this past Friday's SmackDown wearing a knee brace, and Michael Cole claimed that she was banged up in her title defense against Jade Cargill at Clash in Italy. However, there is a video of Rhea getting a hot tag while working a WWE house show match in France a couple of days after Clash in Italy. There are also fan accounts of the house show after that in Spain that indicate Ripley did not get physical and had trouble moving around. As a result, there is some speculation about whether her injury actually occurred or got worse at a WWE house show. So what I will add to this, because I talked a little bit about this on this past Saturday's episode of Rumor of the Day, which is usually the last one for the week, about this, and I left it to those of you to leave a comment about what you thought about this particular rumor. So to add my 2 cents to this, all I will say is that whether these knee injuries are legit or not, I know how hard, or at least I can guess how hard MJF and Rhea Ripley work every day, inside and outside of the ring, and as champions, they are going to give us everything. So they are going to do their best to continue to be champions, whether these knee injuries are legit or not. And if they are able to move around, walk, have that knee brace to give them that support that they need to be able to do what they need to do in the ring to defend their championships, then that is what they're going to do. If it does get worse, if these knee injuries are legit and they get worse and it gets to a point where they have to relinquish, as hard as that will be on us, it's harder on them because they work their asses off. And to lose the championship due to injury, which is an occupational hazard being in professional wrestling, they will work just as hard to rehab, get back in the ring, to get cleared, to get back in the ring, and to get back a champion, to get back there championship they never officially lost. But we will let things play out as they will, especially in these next 3 weeks as we get to what will be a heck of a weekend for professional wrestling fans between the 27th and 28th of June, which I will talk a little bit about in just a moment. The WWE shareholders lawsuit was supposed to begin on Monday, June 8th. However, Bloomberg was told that the planned 4-day trial was no longer on the Delaware court's calendar. It's not known why it was removed. One possibility is that an out-of-court settlement is being reached after Vince McMahon and Nick Khan were sanctioned by the judge for destroying evidence. The fact that there is possibly a settlement to this speaks that it is more than likely true that they knowingly knew what they were doing when they were using Signal that automatically deletes your text. Automatically deletes your text. And in this case, knowingly deleting evidence. If that's the case, damn, some shady shit going on. It's not surprising, especially these days. But damn, knowingly knew what you were doing, and that's messed up. Because it just meant that you were just keeping potential buyers from buying WWE when you knew who you wanted to buy WWE all along. So it just, oh man, it's shady business. It really is. Anyway, even though WWE's attempt to counter-program AEW's All-In pay-per-view last year with NXT Great American Bash and Goldberg's retirement match was a failure, which it really was. Wow. It was still an okay weekend for WWE, but come on. Who we kidding here, right? The Observer said WWE thinks things will be different when Great American Bash goes against Forbidden Door on June 28th. WWE's mindset is that the network component will be the difference from last year because NXT show is on CW this time rather than Peacock. There's also the fact that Forbidden Door is a weaker event for AEW than All In. I call bullshit all around for that one. It is completely unfair to call AEW Forbidden Door a weaker pay-per-view. Now, this is coming from someone who is more generally a WWE fan than an AEW fan. I love professional wrestling, but I love WWE a little bit more. But nonetheless of that, I'm still going to be fair and say what I'm going to say when I see it. AEW pay-per-views, for the most part, are a hit just about every time. They may be longer than a typical WWE PLE, be it main roster or NXT, but nonetheless, AEW pay-per-views, for better or worse, for the most part, are a hit just about every time. So I don't see the fact that Great American Bash is going to be on the CW network, then Peacock, does not make a difference. I think AEW Forbidden Door is still going to hit more so than NXT Great American Bash. I feel Great American Bash is going to be a good show. You know, it's going to be a good time, but I don't think it's going to make a difference in it when you look at Forbidden Door and you look at Great American Bash. The difference is NXT, which you could compare it to college football, versus AEW, which is professional league stuff. For WWE, they would need to take WWE PLE and put it up against a AEW PLE. There you go. Because if you look at NXT, it's like college football, and you look at WWE with the main roster, that's Major League. So you need to take something from WWE that is Major League and put it up against something AEW, which is Major League. So that's what I would say about that. I don't think this is going to change. Regardless, moving on to the next thing, January 27th and 28th is going to be a great weekend for professional wrestling fans. You got Night of Champions on June 27th, and then the 28th, professional wrestling fans, you have options. You got Forbidden Door, you got Slammiversary, and you got the Great American Bash. Whatever you decide to watch, it does not matter because it is a pro wrestling weekend, and it is all about having a good time and watching what you want to watch. And there's no shame in it because we all love professional wrestling. We all love what we love, and we all have, and everyone, there's something in here for everyone to watch on this particular weekend. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because it is going to be a great weekend from June 27th and June 28th with all the options we have. Let's move on to the next thing. Britt Baker was not the wild card, this past Wednesday on Dynamite, who I was hoping it was going to be. It was Mercedes Moné. No shade, no disrespect to Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks. She will go down as one of the greatest professional wrestlers in her time. No questions. She's a first ballot Hall of Famer down the road. But I would be lying if I didn't say I was disappointed that it wasn't Britt Baker, and it speaks more truth to what has been said about Britt Baker and AEW and Tony Khan not really having anything creative for Britt Baker, not really thinking of anything creative for Britt Baker. And once again, I will say it, that if you got nothing creative for Britt Baker, and if you're not thinking of anything creative for Britt Baker, then it is completely okay, Tony Khan, to release her from her AEW contract. There is nothing bad about releasing talent that you are not using, especially talent you are not using for almost 2 freaking years. It is completely okay to release them from the contract and allow them to go anywhere else. If you are quietly holding on to Britt Baker because you are afraid of her going to WWE, that is fucked up, if that is the case. But I don't think that is the case. I hope that's not the case. But anyway, either way you look at it, it has been almost 2 years for Britt Baker. It is okay to let her go from her contract and allow her to go elsewhere, because Britt Baker adds value to any locker room she is a part of. And she is championship main event status. Let her go what she got to do. DMD. Let her go where she wants to go, and let her shine wherever she goes, because she deserves that. And we all want to see her back in the ring. And if you're not going to use her in the ring, Tony Khan, and it's almost been 2 years, then let her go. Let her go somewhere else. But it was Mercedes Moné that filled in that wild card spot for Willow Nightingale and went up against Alex Windsor. And excuse me. And Mercedes Moné went on to win and move on in the Owen Hart tournament for the women. Moving on. This is a really quick one. I did not know this about Sol Ruca because I do not actively go and search in professional wrestlers, especially professional wrestlers who I like, into their personal life and stuff. What's personal is personal, and I leave it at that. But this is cool. I did not know this. When I saw this on social media, that Sol Ruca became the first Black woman Intercontinental Champion. I did not know that. So I had to look for myself, because it is social media, and you got to take social media and what is said on there with a grain of salt. So I looked and I saw, and Sol Ruca is actually biracial, half black, half white. I did not know that about her. That is something new that I did not know about her. As I am also biracial, half black and half white, I found something new that I love about Sol Ruca. So that is really cool. So yes, Sol Ruca is the first Black woman Intercontinental Champion. That is awesome. History making in her rookie year on the main roster. So that is cool. That's amazing. Moving on, this past Friday after SmackDown, I saw 2 scenarios for Night of Champions for the WWE Championship involving Cody Rhodes. One is a rematch between Cody Rhodes and Gunther. Another one is, and it's because of that segment that went down, Sami Zayn being added to this mix and it being a triple threat. You got Cody Rhodes, you got Gunther, you got Sami Zayn, Night of Champions, Saudi Arabia. I see that. We will see what happens this coming up this Friday on SmackDown. Gunther and his lawyers and whatever happens with that. But I see more of a triple threat happening at Night of Champions, then a rematch between Gunther and Cody Rhodes. Because a triple threat, it's like two birds with one stone. Gunther gets his rematch, and Sami Zayn gets a title opportunity as well. So I see that more than anything. Another thing that I was really starting to notice is that I see two, maybe three possible scenarios within the Judgment Day of a possible turn. One, I still see Roxanne Perez making that turn on Liv Morgan, but I see more of Raquel Rodriguez now that she has qualified to move on in the Queen of the Ring. I see a scenario where Raquel Rodriguez wins the Queen of the Ring and goes on to face Liv Morgan at SummerSlam for the world title and possibly even winning the thing. But in going to that, or even at that, I see Raquel Rodriguez possibly, more than likely, turning on Liv Morgan, especially how Liv Morgan is acting like she's already won the tournament, how she's saying her and Dominic Mysterio are going to be the cutest king and queen of the ring. Dominic Mysterio has his hands full with Gunther, and I don't see that for Dominic Mysterio. What he did in that Fatal 4-Way will not be the same he'll be able to do against Obafemi. Absolutely not. But I see a situation where I see a scenario where Raquel Rodriguez is turning on Liv Morgan. There could also be a possible situation where both Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez both turn on Liv Morgan. But we'll see which one pans out. But it's fun to watch. It's been fun to watch. And before I go, next week on Wrestling with Rumors, I'm going to talk about Night of Champions. And I'm not going to be, and it's not predicting matches. No, I'm going to be talking about something else. And I believe there's a match happening this Tuesday on NXT between Natty and Jada Parker. And I want that match to play out before I talk about what I feel about what is happening between Natty and Jada Parker for this particular rivalry, about what's really going on and stuff. So I'm going to talk about that next week as well. But for now, this has been Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all you for watching. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumors. My daily short of Rumor of the Day drops, and anything else new that pops up here on my Wrestling with Rumors channel. Go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment. All that good stuff. I appreciate all of you for watching once again. Hope all you have a good, fun, and safe week. Don't forget to take care of yourselves, and I will see all of you next week for a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Peace, y'all.